Every NASCAR Winston Cup race fan knows that Jack Roush has become a major force in recent years with Mark Martin in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. And this year he'll have a second team with Wally Dallenbach Jr. driving. He has been a major force in IMSA road racing for many, many years. In fact, he has dominated some portions of that type of racing. He had a car last weekend in the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona with Martin, Dallenbach, and Dorsey Schroeder as their drivers. Let's check in and see how they did.
Meet the 1992 Whistler Team of Champions, Mark Martin, Wally Dallenbach Jr., and Dorsey Schroeder. The team debuted in Daytona last week, running in the red and white Ford Mustangs prepared by the Roush Racing stables for the Rolex 24. Prior to Saturday's start of the race, Jack Roush reviewed the rules and mentally rehearsed his talented team of drivers.
It's been Max's opinion and Dorsey's opinion that by being down as far as we are this year, that we can come faster off the oval and our pit stops will actually be faster by the end.
60 miles an hour.
We can go faster. Go as fast as you want, Mark. Nobody tell you down to go too fast. We got called down once or twice last year.
Dick Beatty's not here with his radar gun.
Good deal.
As the race approached, Schroeder prepared to start the 15 car and Mark Martin the 11 car. The two Ford Mustangs were part of a 49-car field attempting the 24-hour chase for a championship. The Roush Racing team was emotionally charged at the start, composed, keen, and confident. But the game plan changed dramatically early in the race.
About an hour and 50 minutes into this race, Mark Martin crashed here in turn 5. Now, because of the configuration of the course, it took the crew nearly 30 minutes to get to the car. But now they're working on it. They think they can repair it, get it back to the pits, and then back into the race.
What does that do right there? That's your power steering. Don't worry about it until we get back to the pit. You're going to have to go real slow back. You won't have any power steering.
1 hour later, the crew had the car rolling, and Martin limped back behind the pits. There, in the shadow of Victory Lane, the site of 7 straight celebrations, the king of this 24-hour race waited while his men tried to put his horse back together again. And for the two-time 24-hour race winner, there was no comfort in past accomplishments. This crash left Martin and his Mustang shattered.
I just made an amateur mistake. I just guess I'm going to have to go crawl up in the hole for a while and feel real bad. I really let, the Whistler team and all these guys, there's 3 other guys driving the car, and I've been there before, but I'd rather be mad that somebody wrecked the car than be the guy that wrecked it, I tell you that much.
5 hours after the crash, the 11 car remarkably returned to the race. Meanwhile, Schroeder, Dallenbach, and Robby Gordon had slipped 5 laps behind, following a lengthy pit stop to repair a faulty brake light switch. But Roush never wavered from his sensible and soothing style. And when the class-leading Nissan was forced to the garage at 10:47 p.m. following an engine fire, Schroeder took the lead. The confident captain and his consistent crew had capitalized on their plan of patience, performance, and praise.
We're going to check the rotors just for safety here. If we decide to change the front rotors, we'll also change rear pads. Except for that, there won't be a brake change, so we're going to go here in just a minute.
You might want to do the inside too, Max. I got another job for you when you're done with the windshield.
Max, if he says he wants his feet rubbed, you don't have to do that. I know that when you were a driver, you expected a lot of that, but rubbing your feet, when you're in the middle of one of these operations is not something that you got to do.
During the darkness hours, Daytona becomes a hectic highway of headlights and horsepower. But for Roush, the halfway mark of this race was rewarded with a respectable 50-lap lead.
The 15 car that Wally Dallenbach and that Robby Gordon and Dorsey Schroeder are all driving has been just flawless, except for that early brake switch problem. It could have a problem the next lap and not finish for some reason we couldn't anticipate. But there's no oil leaks, there's no heating problems, the brakes are good, the engine is solid. We feel like that we're in as good a shape as we've ever been this time of the morning.
You're going to be out there when the sun's coming and be in your eyes coming out of NASCAR 2 there, shining right at your eyes.
I like that.
You like that?
The morning went flawlessly. But with 2.5 hours remaining, Gordon pitted with an oil pressure problem. And moments later, it was evident this Mustang had made its last lap. But the car had built an insurmountable lead, and the Whistler team of champions had locked up an 8th straight win in the 24 hours of Daytona.
I didn't think I'd ever win this race. And, you know, I've said this before, you work so hard at this race that coming in second here just isn't worth it. I mean, a win here is a wonderful thing, and it's the only thing that makes it worthwhile coming here. Second place here is just no good at all.
Well, a lot of people wondered if they could continue their dominance, and certainly they did.